Guude's angry again.
Are we playing? Are we recording? Are we
we
doing the thing?
we're doing the thing. It's the thing.
Hi.
What's up, everybody? We're back. Another week of the Survivor slash Utopia recap, minus the Utopia recap portion of the show. So,
It's been canceled.
yeah, I mean that's basically what we should say because pretty much I'm sure it's not far from coming. But no, don't worry for those Utopia lovers out there. All three of you guys that exist, it has not yet been canceled. It was just off for the World Series or whatnot. So I'm sure they'll think of some other reason to not have it on
There was no time slot
next week. Actually, I should put up the Utopia logo, and actually we can talk about that for a minute. So I've been keeping up slightly, as in, meaning when I say keeping up, I mean I watched it for one day and found some funny comments on it. But the Utopia Reddit is like alive and booming.
Was it Utopia Fox, right?
Yes, Utopia's on Fox.
Because they still got the live feed, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, they do. I still don't understand how to watch it since I don't pay for the premium. So
Right.
I get to watch it for like 10 minutes or something like that. Nothing ever happens during the time that I watch it. And I can never tell. I turned it on at like 3 o'clock in the morning here, my time, which would be midnight their time, and it was like dawn. It made it look like the sun was coming up and somebody was sitting out, like Dedeker I think was sitting out on the end of a dock and had multiple different camera angles of her just sitting there like meditating or something like that, and I was like, this doesn't seem right. But so I don't know what those live feeds really are live.
The discussion thread for today only has 3 comments. The top one is either Bella is having an orgasm or is doing some meditating. Not sure which.
Is there a video link?
No, it's just a live, like every day on the subreddit they have a this day live feed discussion thread that gets automatically posted.
Oh.
And so they can just all put, it's like a mega thread where anyone on the subreddit can just post in this one thread. And the next person responds to that person said, I'm over her theatrics. I genuinely hope she's not this irrational when the camera isn't pointed at her. And the next person says, looks like Hex is actually going to have her sorority ceremony in Utopia for the new Utopians. So who knows what's happened in the last 2 weeks, but apparently Hex is having a sorority ceremony. We'll be seeing this, I guess, this week.
Interesting. Sororities already. Yeah. I know we're going to be seeing a huge fight this week because somebody in the day I did look at the Reddit, they talked about this big blow up that happens that's going to be upcoming. And somebody actually posted a YouTube video to the 15-minute blowout between some people. And I won't ruin it for those who haven't watched it yet because it's something new and upcoming. But it will make for slightly entertaining content for at least a small portion of time. But it all depends on how they edit it and how it really went.
There's an AMA on here with Rob. Does that mean Rob's gone?
I mean, it theoretically could, because one of the things that they did say in the last...
Oh, yeah. This guy's like, my God, the brutality. He says he totally deserves it. He mugged for the camera and just tried to destroy it when he's going on his way.
So,
when it was not going his way. I'm sorry, I misread that.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe he gets voted out, maybe he left, because during this big blowout, he starts yelling to one of the people he's in the blowout with that I saw in the YouTube video that 10 days, that's all you got left in this place, and you'll be out of here. So I'm assuming that means like the next vote for somebody to leave was 10 days away, and that was who knows when that thing was taped. So.
Right. It sounds like these people are like, yeah, he's not doing it for fame. It's just part of the process when you leave Utopia. It's probably in their contract. So yeah, Rob's out.
Oh. Spoiler!
Yeah.
Rob's out of here. That's going to make it interesting. Why would they put an AMA up on something before...
This thing's organized.
Yeah, they wonder why they don't have any viewers. Let's, before the actual episode where we show the person going out, granted there's a live feed and everything, I'd be surprised that the live feed would truly show who's going to get voted out. Isn't that going to just ruin everything about what your show is that you're trying to do?
Yeah. This is crazy.
What fucking dumb people. They wonder why this is the biggest flop in history of the show. I did come across a website, and I'll see if I can find it again, but somebody pretty much went through every character in Utopia and found out their real names, if they don't go by their real names, what their professions are, and pointed out a lot of the falsities in what their character is on Utopia to prove that the whole thing is basically a scam by professional.
Really?
Yeah. Like Hex is apparently what was her profession? She's like she advertises like products for certain companies. She's a promoter. She's a promoter for something, and like they found her real name and then linked it back to her LinkedIn profile and actually have it all out there to show that she's not the unemployed like huntress that she acts like. It's very off the wall. I'll have to see if I can find that thing again, but I mean, it's just more coming out more and more how fake this show is, and I don't know.
I was skimming this AMA, and somebody asked him if he knew about Mike and Dedeker soiling his honeymoon bed, and he was like, "I had no idea this happened. That was shitty."
He walked in on him.
I know.
Wait,
like,
what do you mean? You know this happened?
Apparently, he's got a lot of hate speech on his Twitter. Like that's what most of his AMA is about. A bunch of his comments about football players being gay, and he hates gay people. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of negativity in this AMA about his Twitter account, and I don't know, even on the Utopia subreddit too that linked to this AMA, because the AMA wasn't on the Utopia subreddit, it was on the AMA subreddit. There was a lot of comments like "fuck this guy." I don't know. Everyone seems to hate him, so I guess he said a lot of things that's pissed off the world.
I wonder if him and John Rocker are friends.
Right.
I mean,
Right. Speaking of John Rocker, Survivor.
Speaking of John Rocker, yes, Survivor. Because we got nothing else to say about Utopia. That was just all speculation, and now we've ruined everything. So stay tuned for that show to be canceled very soon. Now that we all know the ending already, and so nobody's gonna tune in for it. One thing I should say is you first mentioned about my green screen and how I don't have it set up this week.
You didn't want to be in the street this week?
Well, no, actually, I got it working perfectly, so I just put up a picture that makes it look like behind me. I don't have a green screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Good
going
job.
with. So
Good job.
Everything, look,
well done.
blue cup, it's everything, blue shirt, like green screen in the background even.
Right, a
Everything
fake
looks-
green screen in the green screen.
Yeah,
That's
I
amazing.
wanted to make it look more like it was an at-home pod. People said it was too professionally done. They were worried we were paid by, Fox and CBS to make this thing, but...
Right.
Had to make it look normal for everybody. So just to get that out of the way in case that was on everybody's mind.
Normally they pay like per 1,000 views, but in this we're doing it per 10. So it's like $70 per 10 views.
Yes.
Right.
That's what we get. So, I mean, just watch it, keep hitting refresh, let that ad play again, and like it helps us out.
Not really. I think that's the good
That would probably be bad. But anyways, Survivor.
Yeah.
So, since this is the only real content we have to talk about this week, I do have to say this week's episode, pretty good. Way better than last week. Last week I was disappointed because not really much entertaining happened.
Did you get confused at towards the end? I mean, I guess we'll talk about that when we get closer towards the end. But, man, before they went to Tribal, after the immunity, maybe this is because I just got off a plane and I was, like, still, like, jet lagged. But whenever the three... I mean... We'll talk about it when we get there, because the first thing that happened is everything changed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll definitely agree with you that there's confusion at the end that can come up. I actually have to watch the thing twice to really understand what happened, and I still don't get everything. 4 times,
and I was trying to take notes, and it was like, I don't know, it was everybody's name. Everybody was saying somebody else's name, and I was just like, I don't care.
So, but as you said, it starts out with them being at Heroes Arena. Oh yes, that awesome place, Heroes Arena. Just to find out that everything changes,
Right. They didn't even do anything there. They were just like, come drop your buffs. Now I'm wondering, here's the thing. Before they even did it, I called what was going to happen. I said there's going to be one tribe that's mostly couples or family, and there's going to be one tribe where all the singles are. So do you think this happened on accident, or do you think they just do you think it's scripted? I'm so confused at this point in this show. I'm starting to wonder if everything is scripted because, like I told my wife, I was like, this would be the most entertaining thing they could do is if they put all the singles for the most part with like one couple, and then they separate a couple and have one single and then all couples.
So for those who didn't see it, they basically told everybody drop their buffs. They're redrawing just to have 2 different tribes. It wasn't a merge. It was just we're mixing up the tribes. And Jeff throws the little bag of bandanas, and you randomly pick out a thing. Now I was going to ask you. You said at the beginning you could tell like this one team's already wearing all orange. This one team was already wearing all blue. Did you have any tells this time that you could see?
No, I looked for them. Did you see any?
I know, and that's the thing is I was going to.
But the fact that they did exactly what would make the best television makes me question.
So, I mean, at the beginning of the show, I can completely see how you would already let people know who's going to be on their tribe because it really does not change the game at all. But once you get in mid show and you're going to trade teams, if you had given away that secret anytime beforehand, I mean, wouldn't that change the entire game? Well, assuming that the game aspect of this thing is
Well, to
real.
me, it kind of makes sense with how they treat each other against other tribes. Like they've been so worried about who gets voted off to the. I mean, but it is blood versus water, so maybe it's just about family. But it's not even like whenever Drew got voted off, the whole other tribe was upset. It wasn't just his brother. It was like everyone was like, I don't know, man. It seemed, but I don't necessarily think they knew who they were going to end up with. But I feel like it was still scripted to the point that the producers knew how they were going to split them people up. I don't think it was random. I'm convinced it wasn't random.
I mean, I'm trying to think of mathematical strategy and stuff in my head. So they would have given each
Right.
team.
I mapped this out. Actually, that's one thing I did. I was like, mathematically, would it always have ended this way?
Yeah.
And no, it could have ended where there was two tribes, where there was two couples on both, and then the singles.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
was not. It was not statistically, or it did not have to happen this way. As far as it could have happened. It could happen in several different ways. But the way that makes the best television, in my opinion, is having this one couple and then all singles, and
Right.
then all couples and one single.
So
Because
so one team ends up with, I'm gonna try to run through these people and get it on the same. Ends up with Natalie, Josh and Reed, the only couple on that one side. Alec, Jeremy, Wes,
and Julie.
and Julie. So basically, you got a bunch of the singles, and not just the singles, but the singles who don't have family members left in the
Right.
game.
All the singles that don't have family members left in the game are on one tribe.
And then one couple. And on the other side, you have three couples and one guy who still has a family member left in the game.
Right.
So
But he's
it's,
all alone.
but he's
See,
all
to
alone.
me, like I said, I don't think they necessarily. They may not have even. Like, I think they made sure that there was one tribe that had all the people by themselves. I really do. I think they forced that to happen.
Okay, so you didn't just mean when you said that you one tribe ending up with all the like single people, but you actually meant people without family members left in the game.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that was definitely hard for them to pull off as a. I mean, it's one in a big shot for that to actually
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
out like that. Yeah, yeah, I can. Whew.
I think it's scripted, man.
Because what do you do at that point if you're the tribe? I mean, especially if you're the tribe that now has all the people who no longer have family members left, and then one couple. You got a gun for that couple.
Right. That's why to me it's bullshit. Like it's bullshit. They basically fucked the game for those people. So like to me it's like the game. I'm starting to feel like the game doesn't even matter anymore to some degree because if they're manipulating it to this degree, Josh and Reed are now at no, it's not an equal shot at this game. You're no longer playing on your own merits. You're playing your own merits and on the bullshit that the producers are deciding to pull on you. Again, don't know if this is actually what's happening, but it really feels like it's what's happening to me. So now if you're Josh and Reed, you're basically fucked because for one thing, all these other people are salty because their loved ones have been voted out. So they and then the other reason they want to get rid of you because you're obviously together.
Yeah.
So they're screwed. And then you got Keith on the other side, even though his son's still in the game, technically, all these other people you would think would vote him out.
See,
Because they love
I
you, that didn't
disagree.
happen.
I when I watched it the first time, I was like, man, they should vote out. They should vote out Keith first if I was
Yeah,
that team and I
right.
lose. And then I really thought about it, and I'm like, why would you want to vote out Keith first? Because then you're really couple versus couple. Whereas if you kept Keith around, you could get somebody strong on your side. I mean, strong as in like a vote player to gun for another couple and have one more vote to add with my couple if I
Yeah.
pull him on there, as opposed to because if I got another couple along with me, at some point they're going to have to come after me if they want to win the game. Whereas if I have a single person joining my couple, I still have my couple, and that one vote's not going to be enough to get me down. Whereas two votes on another couple, I was really like trying to crunch numbers. It's just Survivor's a number crunching game, man. You got to be like a mathematical genius to understand it, or at least know how to add and subtract. Mathematical genius. Um, so first off, right when they get to the Heroes Arena, Hashtag drop your buffs. What do you think about the ridiculous amount of hashtags in the late seasons of Survivor?
That's just the new thing, right? You gotta get Twitter involved. I don't know, dude.
Have you ever watched an episode of something and been like, "Oh, hashtag drop your buffs. Better talk about what's happening."
I mean, I think
Hashtag
it's
drop your
important to
buffs.
have these hashtags. I do think it's important because there are. The thing is, we're old, Jeff. We're old. I think. I think if you went right now on Twitter and looked at whatever hashtags from the last episode, I bet there would be quite a few people that were using them. I believe it, man. Like,
Oh,
I feel like there's some show I've watched before where I've actually have used the hashtag, but nothing's really coming to mind. Like, and everyone uses American Idol, everything uses it, but yeah, I don't.
right. So I'm kind of okay with it. Hashtag drop your buff at least. That's literally what happened. How many
Yeah,
times have I seen a damn hashtag blindside in this season when there really hasn't been blindsides that have occurred? Every time it's
yeah,
like somebody who they paint
right.
out
It's
to
like a
be like,
vote happened
yeah,
basically.
yeah, exactly. Oh, it was 3 versus 4, blindside, even though we knew that people were gunning after him anyway. Okay, like, okay, so hashtags. You're okay with hashtags? I see. What do you think
I
about
don't know.
having?
I think it's smart because Twitter's big, and I mean, if you get one person to using it, it didn't take any time to put that at the bottom of the screen. You know what I mean?
True,
So,
true.
like, yeah, I think it's worth it.
So, what do you think about not having challenges after a merge? I think it would have been cool to see, or not, excuse me, not the merge, the tribe swap. I wanted to still see a reward challenge, but it'd be
Yeah,
not loved couple or loved one versus loved one. Be like
right.
now team versus team for a new reward, or at least a team
Yeah,
versus team for even a lunch of burgers and fries
yeah,
or
right.
something.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that. I guess they thought there would be enough material of them going back to camp and meeting each other, and that would make a good TV. I guess. I mean,
And
that's
I
what they
mean,
did, right?
for somewhat it does. It shows the interactions with people, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you took away. Not only did you take away the reward challenge, you took away uh, a lone island, whatever the hell it's called.
Exile, a lone
Exile,
island, a
exile
lone
island.
island, very sad island.
Should be a
God.
lone island plus one since you get to bring somebody with you. And I
Lone Island
understand.
plus one.
I understand getting rid of
That's the new name for it. A Lone Island
a
plus
lone
one.
island. I understand getting rid of a lone island plus one in a merge because you really put somebody at a disadvantage if you trade tribes and then send them off to
Yeah, right.
a lone island.
The next you merge is no longer plus one. It's just a Lone Island because you no longer probably be bringing someone. You just be going there alone. After the merge, but it's only
Is that what they did in the last one that they had?
I don't know.
Or is
Did they
it
still have a
the?
Lone Island after the merge?
I
Like not the tribe switch up.
yes, I want to say that they did in the last season that they had it, but you're bringing up a good point. I don't remember if they sent somebody else with them or not.
I don't think so. I think you just go alone.
So it becomes a lone island plus one minus one.
Just a Lone Island. Just
Uh,
no longer plus one.
hashtag
But
a
I
lone
mean,
island.
but plus the last one, it's the same thing. The results are the
um,
same.
so I'm okay with getting rid of that, but I really wanted to see a challenge amongst people, and I think that we've proved ourselves right though that you're not allowed to have a loved one's challenge without a loved one. I think you were literally exempt from all the challenges thus far if your loved one was gone
Right, I
from
think so
competing.
too. I
I
think
don't
so.
know if that'll carry on because loved ones
I mean,
you
you
can't.
can't really. Otherwise, after Josh is out, it's over. Or not, I
Josh
guess
versus Reed, you guys.
yeah, right. Oh, yeah, no, wait. It's only Keith and Wes. Keith and Wes are it.
They're gonna do
The only ones that are
everyone.
yeah. From now on, Keith and Wes are carrying their teams. Can't vote them
Um,
out either.
uh,
So
uh,
after they got back to their camp, though, since they did the swap or whatever, they get back to Blue's camp and there's just like no rice. They're just gonna starve. There's no food.
Now, I find it amazing at the significant difference in the amount of food between the two tribes.
Right, and then so the other tribe that could continue to lose is the one that has plenty of food. Um, and they're like, well, this must be why we were lost because we didn't eat all the rice. Do you agree with that? Do you think if they'd ate all the rice, they would have this would have been a completely different ball game?
For the challenges up until then, I from a medical perspective and from a guy who likes food perspective, I would definitely say that food helps you win challenges and things
Yeah.
like that. But nobody went out to any challenge and ever complained that they were
Right.
like, we did so bad because I was so weak, I couldn't stand up. They never
Starving.
complained about it. So, I mean, I don't know, but you can see why it'd be an advantage to have food. But at what point, if you're that team that was almost out of rice, do you look and be like, we have this bag of rice and we only have 2 scoops of it left. What are we going to do?
I know it was like they were just like, well, and that's why I kind of feel like they knew that that switch up was going to happen. I don't know, man. Like I feel like they should have been more concerned before. Were they hoping like I don't know, bread was going to fall from the sky or something? I don't know.
Well, I find it entertaining that of all people, like Missy, she's the one that switched over, or did Baylor switch over? I don't know. One of those two. Woman, not very big woman. One of the people you would think would have to eat the least amount of like the food there on the island. That couple, just because they're smaller women. They're the ones that go. One of them moves from the place with no food, goes to a place and goes, "Oh my God, these people are so good at rationing. Look how much rice we have." Not
let's eat it.
Yeah, not we did something wrong. We should preserve this, but good, there's more rice. Let's make multiple scoops of it and tell everybody not to worry. It's gonna be okay because who knows? Maybe they'll.
100% of the time for her, it's been okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And they're just eating ridiculous amounts of rice and pissing everybody off. But that does come to yet another barter with Jeff. That of all people that wants to start bringing this
that's
up
the
in
best
camp,
part.
It's Alec,
It's the brother. Right. He's like, oh, this. And the funny thing is about Alec too. He comes over and he just shit talks his brother the whole time. He's like, yeah, my brother's an idiot. Yeah, I'm not surprised I beat him. Said he's gone, but I'm way better than him. I don't know. It's just like. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I love how he talked about how he's going to be looked at as better because he outlasted his brother, therefore he's better than him. And it's like you and your brother had nothing to do with each other in this game.
Right. Right. And the funny thing is now he's talking about all the people that hated his brother, so he's screwed. He's out.
Oh yeah.
When they get a chance, he's gone.
Yeah. They everybody knows he's just like him. He's acting just like him, unless it's the way that they're cutting these videos. But yeah, he looks like a dick. I'd get rid of him as well. This is a weird season where they're not. They usually start out these shows getting rid of all the weak people in order to keep a strong tribe, despite how arrogant and assholish the strong ones are, especially if they're losing. But this time they're like, you know what? Screw you, John Rocker. Screw you, Drew. Screw
Oh yeah. We're just done with your shit. Yeah, no one cares.
So I'm kind of happy with that because I like to see the arrogance go away, but I'm curious where that's going to lead. I guess there's nobody really on this season though who's like. Yeah, there's like not a single person who's like super old and out of shape. The closest you come is Natalie and Nadia that they're not in.
Yeah. I mean, like the older people, they seem fine as far as like being able to perform and challenges, blah blah blah. But yeah, like Dale, Dale and his daughter are together now. He's one of the people that was in charge of rationing the rice, and he's flipping shit about the whole "let's eat all the rice," that Misty's doing. And his daughter's like trying to play like peacekeeper between him and everyone else, and he's just pissed the fuck off and wants, it was good.
Yeah. So, speaking of that, come down to wait before we get to the vote. Did I miss anything in the middle that I want to? Oh, so the immunity. Yeah, I guess we didn't talk about the immunity challenge yet. Going up to it, so the immunity challenge is going through this mud-infested pit after you dig out a bag of balls, or no, a bag of something. What was in that first bag? Oh, a key. It was a key to open something up so that you could shake this pole and get all these sandbags out that you have to then throw onto a platform. Pretty simple concept, but like elaborately like done. I'm always curious on these mud challenges. People crawl under this pit of just like pure mud. They always come out the other side, and they always are able to see. Have you ever crawled through mud before?
I know, and it's funny. Like you look at their face, and their face is covered in mud. Like, why? What? Who's doing the?
Exactly. Their face is covered. Their hands are covered. If you go into mud like that and you try to open your eyes, you just get mud in your eye, and you're like, oh, now I can't see at all. Like I'm done. Right. But they always just are able to open eyes perfectly.
There's got to be there's got to be a rag or something, right?
But their hands are always completely covered.
There's got to be there's like a rag team. Ragtag team of rag handlers.
They get through one side and they have to like walk slowly, like when your car is leaving one of those car washes, and they got the guy with a hand towel. That's like,
and it's weird because you see him coming out of the mud every time. Like, where's the ragtag team of rag handlers at?
Every time I watch a mud challenge, I'm just like, I don't get. I would be
Yeah.
so afraid if I was ever on this show that I'd be that idiot that gets to one of these mud challenges who I can tear through it first, and then I get out and I'm like, now I can't seem to do anything else, and I just like,
Yeah.
I'm done. Because I can go to wipe my eyes and just wipe more mud in it because obviously, yeah. Oh, so I was always curious on that, and it doesn't make any
No.
sense for me.
Whoever could find their first bag of keys digging, they just dig a sand pit, and there's just no
It makes me wonder too that they have to even these things out, like where they put the bag in the same depth in both arenas that you have to dig through. But like Jeff even said, like that he's like they dug out their entire pit and still haven't even found it yet.
Yeah,
Is
right.
that like,
It's like here it is.
yeah, is that
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
maybe they realize they stacked the teams in a way
right.
that
Think that they're going this far with it? Like, I
yeah.
hope not, man. I hope.
Josh and Reed, they're like, oh crap, Josh and Reed are out now that we did this. Let's give them a bigger advantage to win this challenge because that team wins the immunity challenge
Right.
when all's said and done before the one team even goes through and starts throwing balls.
Right. Well, the first team, like the next thing they do is they just shake that nest and get all the bags out of that, and that the team that got there first because they knew how to dig, they just like shook the shit out of it and everything came out. And the other team come, they're like dancing it like it was like a little. They was just the nest was just like doing a dance, It wasn't even like I don't know. Like the other tribe, I think was just bad. Is really what it came down to. It wasn't like necessarily that I don't know. They were just being really bad because they were like Hanapu was just so far ahead. Like I don't know. They like you said, they had all 10 bags on the thing before the tribe even got to throw a bag. It was sad.
Yeah. Though I noticed there was more than 10 bags. They had to land 10 bags on that little platform, and they had more than 10 bags to throw, which I was kind of surprised at. Surprised they didn't just give them 10 and make them go run out for anyone that fell. But, I mean, didn't really change the challenge too much, I guess. So, after the challenge, winning tribe is the one with no food.
Mm.
Of course, here comes the Jeff. Can we talk to you about something in a minute here? And this one, I legitimately can agree with their concerns, and I think Jeff handled it pretty well. Basically, understanding that they said, we're out of food. We come over to this tribe after having rationed our stuff perfectly because we knew what we needed to do, and now we got like nothing. Like, what can we do about this? And Jeff's understanding, kind of like it's not really your guys' fault, and now you're sitting in this dead spot. So he ends it with, we will see what we can do, but we have a tribal to get to right now.
Yeah. I think part of that is that, you'd have to think that Jeff knew that was coming, right? He knew that they were going to ask that because, the cameraman knew they were going to ask. So he had to kind of know it was coming, but maybe they probably need to like talk about what they're going to do too, kind of figure out the best thing for TV. The thing that blows my mind is, again, who knows how they edit it, but you see all these vultures eating a fish that washed up on shore. Like, why don't they just walk the beach? Like, fish wash up all the time that you could eat. Or like, you're surrounded by food. Why is everyone sitting around talking about the no food?
They do talk about the fact that there's a lot of snails. And one of the teams still has fishing gear. Which team has the fishing gear?
I don't know. I'm not sure which. I don't know because after they switched and everything, I can't remember which
team ended up with it. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It was the tribe that doesn't have any food is the tribe that won the whole time. So they should have the fishing gear, right?
Yeah, because they gave up the fishing gear. That's the tribe that gave up the fishing gear the first time that they won, right?
No,
No,
that
you're
tribe had
right.
only won one time.
You're right. Yeah,
So they got fishing gear. They ain't fishing. I guess they're not fishing. If they are, they're really bad at it.
they must be. Maybe they lost that. Maybe they buried it with a flint, and they'll find it later. I don't. I don't get what's going on. But scenes from the next episode definitely showed that.
The Jeff has come to camp, and
Yes.
something drastic's going to happen. I mean,
I was waiting for him to tell him because they won an immunity challenge, and they said we need to talk to you. I was waiting for him to be like, "Well, trade me immunity, and I can give you some more food."
that's
Like,
right. That's what I wanted. Yeah.
I mean, would you have done it? I would. There's no way I would trade immunity.
No. I would have gone back and fished. Pulled a fucking. Oh God, what was his name?
I mean, we already know that you would eat raw fish. You don't even want fire. You're like, fuck it, give me raw fish. I'll eat that
Yes,
shit instead.
it's not gonna kill you.
from Tuna Haven that exists out there. Yes,
Right, exactly. I'd go out and come back with a 50-pound fucking tuna. Just eat it like a cob of corn in front of everybody.
Because it's like I'll just swim out far enough and find a passing cargo ship, and I'll come back with a ramen.
Yeah, buffet.
Cans
tray.
of tuna fish.
I don't. Ever since the pirate one where they had God, what is his name? Why can't I remember his name? He's come back, and I hope you never see him again.
Oh, Rupert.
Rupert. Ever since then, I've never seen anyone.
Rupert.
I did like Rupert. I don't anymore. I don't ever want to see him again, ever. In fact, if they bring Rupert back, I'm not watching that season.
What's the reason for that?
He is terrible at the game. He had one good season. After that, he come back. He couldn't even start a fucking fire. Then he comes back and he's like, I'm going to go off and go to my alone island because I care about my wife more.
So you're basically saying if you were ever on Survivor and you had to trade places with your wife, you'd be like, nope, I'm staying. See you later.
It was just dumb. Like, he had it in that she wasn't going to get voted out because she had to go to Exile Island. Like, she had already been, it was dumb. He shot himself in the foot. I mean, he wanted his wife to have the experience of the game, sure, but he could have let her stay over there and let her play her own game too. There's still the experience of the game. She could have fought her way back. By going away, he's guaranteed he's out.
I mean,
but at that point, it doesn't even matter because he can't start a fire. And even in that season, he was like, "I'm going to go to Exile Island because I'm so amazing, and my tribe won't even survive without me." Fuck that guy. I don't ever want to see him again.
He was Billy Madison incarnate.
I just hate him. I hate him so much. I don't want to ever see him again.
I'm shocked.
He was so great, and he's just a parody of himself at this point.
I really like Rupert, but I definitely read something that they said that they don't really videotape much in Survivor, and nothing really gets aired, or you don't really make the highlights or anything like that unless the cameras are around. Like, you can't do strategy unless cameras are around. And somebody said that he was to the point where he wouldn't even talk to people unless the cameras were around because he wanted to, like, be the star of the show the entire time that got aired out there. So I guess he's a little bit more arrogant than...
That's how I perceive him, too. Like, even in, like, yes. I don't like him. I liked him a lot. And then I didn't like him at all.
That's interesting. You don't hear many people say they don't like Rupert.
I know.
You don't hear it said that often.
Well, Beef's on the same page with me about Rupert.
Wait, is Beef like Survivor?
Oh, yeah.
Beef onto the show, man.
If he had time, he can't even make the Minecraft podcast anymore. I'm going to turn my light on. It's too late now, though.
Well, no, I mean, because then it would, change everything. People would be like, it's a different show that I'm watching at this point.
Right.
I don't know what to do anymore. But so, you don't like Rupert, so we've established that. I
used to, though, so don't hate on me, people. I liked him whenever it mattered, but, like...
At one point, you get your seasons fill as well. He's been on, like, 4 seasons, right?
Right.
At one point, it's kind of... Unless you bring back a full cast, again, of, like, people who've been on Survivor more than 3 times. Like, that's what we're going to do, a full cast of people. I think it comes to an end for people. Like, do you think they'll bring Boston Rob back?
If Boston Rob came back, I don't care. If Rupert Grit, I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah.
The only one I care about is Rupert. Wait, what's his name?
Rupert.
Oh, right. Who the fuck was the guy? Yeah. Wait, I confused him with the guy that was on the first time now. What the hell's his name? The guy that won the very first Survivor.
Oh, Richard Hatch?
Richard Hatch. Yeah, if he comes back, I don't care. Yeah, but Rupert, no. No Rupert.
I don't know
no
if
more
Richard
Rupert.
Hatch can come back after... I'm surprised they let him stay in the game after the last one he was in. Because that one... what was that one chick's name? Was it Helen? She quit the game because she felt so uncomfortable and violated for what he had done, which was like just stand there naked, which he was trademark for in the first season, and like shake his stuff at her to try to like, make her basically like get out of his way. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. And I think at the end during the recap episode, they had like made up and everything. And she even said like, yeah, I took that too far. Like, I'm fine now. I was just going through a rough time in life or whatever. But I'm kind of surprised that when somebody leaves because they feel sexually harassed and uncomfortable by your actions that...
Yeah. Last I heard he's in prison.
What, did he not pay taxes on his $1 million again? Did he win
Like
something
that.
else? Yeah, can you imagine? Didn't he go to prison for that in the first place?
Yeah.
As well?
Yeah.
How do you not... you won the first Survivor and then you go to prison because you didn't pay taxes on your shit.
He was convicted to serve 51 months in federal prison.
51 months, huh?
He served an additional 9 months in prison for not amending his tax returns in 2001. Um, he lives in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Uh, um, Including following his survivor win, his house was sold in a public auction in 2013.
He didn't handle his money very well, is what you're saying.
Yeah, yep, yep. They indicate he still has not paid his taxes for a period of 6 years recently. So yeah, he doesn't pay his taxes.
Wow. Smart people. So basically, guys, if you ever win Survivor, pay your taxes on Survivor.
Anything, just pay your taxes.
So Tribal Council happens, or let's leading up to Tribal Council. This confusion you alluded to at the beginning.
I don't even know what was going on. I was trying to write it down. Like Drew wants to be with Missy and Baylor. No, Drew wants Missy and Baylor to work with John and Jacqueline.
Well, there's no Drew, so that
Oh,
might be the confusing part. Drew's gone. He got voted out last time.
oh right, no, Alec. Alec wants.
Alex on the other team.
Yeah,
Man, Guude, you were really confused when you were watching
I was
this.
so confused.
So basically, you got John and his girlfriend. The hell's her name? Jacqueline. John and Jacqueline. Dale and Kelly.
Dale. That's what I want. Dale wants Missy and Baylor to work with John and Jacqueline,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, Kelly's dad.
Yeah, and Kelly's working on it too.
No, Kelly doesn't want Missy and Baylor to work with them because Dale hates Baylor.
It's confusing.
So it got basically.
And Jacqueline's scared of working with Baylor. And
Right.
there's no way. Yeah. Oh, all right.
Jacqueline
There's no way to keep track.
Yeah,
That's not
Jacqueline
down
and
here.
John were trying to kind of feel out both sides, essentially, to see which couple they wanted to go with. Keith, coincidentally, who has an idol in his back pocket, is off the radar completely.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of sitting back watching, trying to figure out what he's going to do. And this is where it gets confusing to me is Jacqueline and John were trying to figure out, do we want to go with Dale and Kelly, or do we want to go with Missy and Baylor? Missy and Baylor hate Dale and Kelly, so therefore they're against each other, putting Jacqueline and John right in the middle, essentially. But somehow the concept of a split vote gets thrown out there.
That's the point where I think I wrote down. I don't care anymore because I was like, I don't even know who is who anymore. I've lost track of whose name is what, and now I don't know, dude. There was so many names, and this was the most confusing episode I've ever watched of Survivor.
So
I felt like they edited it to even seem more confusing because there was a part there. I swear it was like 3 minutes where only thing that was said was names: John and Jacqueline, Missy and Kelly, Dylan,
which
Bob,
is exactly
Bob.
what we just did. So everybody's probably like, huh? Wait.
I know it's just overwhelming.
Yeah, I agree. But if you were, let's take this from a base concept. We know the middle people, John and Jacqueline. They're kind of the deciding vote because two other couples hate each other. So
Right.
we can establish that. If you were John and Jacqueline, who would you want to be going with you?
I don't even know who's who anymore. Fuck. Hold on. John and Jacqueline. I would get rid of Misty and Bailey.
I
Baylor.
completely agree. Those people are, for not only were they eating all your rice,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah, that was an easy decision to me. It's getting rid of breaking those two up, just getting them out.
so instead, turns out they kind of gunned for Dale and Kelly, which is weird. So the vote gets split out. For some reason, Missy and Baylor made some comment about a split because they were worried about the idol somewhere. Nobody knows Keith's got the idol. I don't know where Keith's at in the middle of this either. That's the thing, is I don't know where he's voting on this stuff. You end up getting 2 votes for Dale, 2 votes for Baylor, 2 votes for Kelly, and then before they do the final vote reveal. So you got a 3-way tie right now because of a split vote. And then the last vote comes out, and it's for Kelly.
And Keith didn't even vote for Kelly, did he? I tried to watch it at the end.
I don't know. Oh, I didn't look at the end votes when they showed them.
See, I thought
Did they
Keith
show
didn't
him
vote.
this week?
Yeah. They always show them. Yeah, they definitely
I
showed
went
him.
through and watched the scenes from the next, but I didn't really. Maybe I didn't even catch that because I assumed.
Right after the scenes from the next.
I
think.
assumed he had to vote for Kelly though, right?
That's
Otherwise,
what I
his numbers
thought.
don't make
For some
any
reason I-
sense.
Yeah. I can't remember now. Like I said, I was all very tired. I liked it, the tribal council, whenever Jeff was talking to him, Jacqueline acts like a fucking diva because everyone keeps going to her and John She acted like, I don't know, just the way she said it. It was like,
That there,
yeah, we pretty much run things around these parts.
we're the
Like, I don't know.
hottest couple. You said it. That's us.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So either way, why Kelly? If you let's say you went after Kelly and Dale, and that's what your strategy wants to be, why would you go after Kelly over Dale?
I guess just you think that, yeah, I don't know. Well, see, that's the thing. Dale got 2 votes too. Kelly and Dell both got votes each.
But
You
Kelly
know?
got 3 in the end to get
Right,
sent home.
right. I know, but that's the thing. Like, just one person basically decided this. Like, I don't think they knew what the hell they were doing. Period. Like, 2 people wanted Dell, 2 people wanted Kelly. You know what I mean? Like, it was just barely decided. I don't know,
So
man.
do you think Keith was actually the deciding factor?
I don't. He would have to be. I would think. I don't know. I think. I wish I could look at the votes again and see exactly how the vote went down.
Oh my god!
It was
Now,
funny
I
during
really
the
want to watch this
tribal.
vote. No.
Um, during the tribal, like Keith gets brought. Like Keith was just kind of sitting there watching, and like Jeff's like, "So Keith is the only one that doesn't have their couple, their mate with them. How do you feel? Do you feel scared?" And Keith's like, everything's good. Don't look at me." Like, I don't know. It was like he was just like, I don't know. He didn't want to. He didn't even talk. He was just like, don't make it about me, Jeff. They're gonna vote me out if you do.
I'm trying to look up real quick if I can get to an article that tells me who voted
Right.
for who, because that really changes my perspective on this whole thing that I guess I really didn't pay attention to. Uh, Voted out. Dead air, dead air.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Come on. Like,
Yeah, I found the Survivor fandom page to see if it says here. My angry Googling. I can't see it far
okay,
away.
here we go. Vote. Baylor voted for Kelly. Dale voted for Baylor.
So they both went for Baylor then.
Yeah, Baylor and Missy voted for Kelly. Keith voted for Dale. John voted for Dale. Kelly voted for Baylor, and Jacqueline voted for. So John and
John and Jacqueline weren't even together on their own shit.
No, they split their vote. If I'm reading this thing right.
So I wonder if it.
Maybe
I
they
wonder
just
if they did
didn't
that on
care.
purpose.
That's so weird though, because
So that's what I thought. I thought Keith did not vote for Kelly. Is what I thought. Yeah.
you're right. Keith didn't. So that means the only reason Dale got 2 votes was because John and Jacqueline split their votes.
Yeah. So if John and Jacqueline had stayed together, they would have either gotten rid of Dale or Kelly.
So
Still.
they really just didn't give a shit. They were more like, one of these people's going down.
Yeah.
We don't care
basically.
who. Which
I guess.
because that
That
doesn't.
just seems so
'cause my-
fucking silly, though. You should definitely be on the same page and vote for the same person, unless you're worried about.
I hope I was reading that right and didn't give a bunch of misinformation to everybody. But I'm pretty sure I did just read that right because it makes sense. I mean, it adds up properly. Because so what? My question is, let's say they decided to go after Keith for some reason. Say Keith got 3 votes as opposed to Kelly getting 3 votes, and Dale and Baylor have 2. Keith plays the idol. When you do it now that you have a tie underneath you, when you do
Well,
a
Keith did
revote,
play the idol, right?
no, he did not play the idol. But I was trying to figure out because I thought that they did this originally because they were splitting votes. Because they had mentioned something about splitting votes, being worried about an idol being out there,
Right.
And maybe that's why John and Jacqueline split their votes because
That's what I'm saying. But it
Casey Idol.
still doesn't make sense. It's just too. I don't know.
if there's a tie right underneath the people who, like, let's say somebody plays the idol, so they were gonna go home, they're not anymore. Now the next person down, there's a 2-way tie.
Yeah.
Everybody just revotes for those 2 people,
Yeah.
including the people whose votes got canceled.
Yeah.
Doesn't that kind of take away part of the concept of the idol was to cancel your vote? It means nothing anymore. Like your vote was a waste.
Right. Well, you still get to vote again, even though you played your idol. Like let's say I play my idol and then there's a tie underneath me. I would get to vote against.
You
those
would get to vote as the guy who played the
Yeah.
idol, but the people
Right, but then everyone else has got it. That's happened before, where everyone else had to decide to vote something else because the tie resulted because of an idol play.
See, I don't remember that, and that's what I couldn't remember if I'd seen it happen before, and that's why I
Yeah,
was like,
yes.
ugh, I don't know what happens in this case because then everybody getting to re-vote to me is kind of like, well, I played my idol because I wanted to cancel your vote out. Anybody who voted for me, I want you guys to not have a vote anymore because you guys are
Right. No,
garbage.
they still get to vote.
But
But I mean, I think the time it happened, it was something like 7 votes for one guy and then 2 votes for someone else. And the guy that had 7 votes had played his idol. So now it's like, because I remember it
it
being
can
really
come down to
exciting because
anybody.
no one
But
knew what the fuck to do now because they'd all worked out their plan who they were voting for. And now they were like,
uh-oh.
yeah, because I think if I remember right, it was something crazy like that where like they had 2 people in the tribe and it was like it was down to those two. And so this is who we're going to vote for. And then so the tribe had to decide like what the fuck are we gonna. And in fact, I think when this happened, they played 2 idols. Like he gave his friend the idol. They both played their idol, and now the other tribe is just fucked because they had to revote.
Was it when
And
Russell played his idol and then gave one to Parvati?
see, I can't remember. I can't remember when this is. I just know it's happened before where they had to revote because of a tie, and it had just been like one. It'd been a 1-1 tie, and there so no one knew what the fuck to do.
Can you go home on one vote? I mean, literally just on one vote
Right.
because at some point you like draw rocks or something or fire
Right.
challenge, depending on what the season is, like with the
Yeah.
rule books. I wish do they put the
Well,
rule
it's
books
not.
out?
It's not depending on the season. It's depending on how many numbers of players. It's set in stone when you draw rocks and stuff like that. I don't know the exact thing. You have to look at the wiki to see.
Oh, that doesn't change from season to season.
The draw rocks is always at a certain point in the game.
Oh.
If there's a tie, it's always a draw rock thing.
No fire challenge.
Yeah, I don't know how the fire thing. I don't remember. I think they may have just done away with the fire challenge completely.
After the one, it was.
Right, where it was like 3 hours and no one started a fire.
They gave them matches and then they still couldn't get a fight
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
And it was,
yeah.
the jury's like,
Yeah.
come on, can you imagine if normal tribals are like 4 hours long as it is, and then you sit
Yeah.
through a 3 hour fire challenge, and everybody's just like, "We're so
Please.
hungry."
Yeah. Yeah, because those people have like buffets and shit back at their hotel.
Yeah, probably. Man, they should let the jury eat like every time.
Well, yeah, every time rolling their buffet for the night and just there,
Sit there,
like fucking
get a filet mignon
evil
out there.
times, they're just like throwing chicken legs at them after they're done.
Oh, that would be
Into
that
the
would be
fire.
amazing. That would be amazing.
I want to see that now. Yeah,
Jeff Probst. Hashtag jury eats food.
yeah.
And hashtag alone island plus one. We're changing it all.
We need hashtags now. That's what we're missing, Jeff.
Speaking of hashtags, I should flash one on the screen right now, but I don't know what to say. I'll put up a hashtag alone island plus one. That's what I'm gonna do. Speaking of which, you know what I did this week? I made a Survivor audition video.
Oh, did you?
I did. I actually think this one, I put a little bit more work into this one. I think it turned out okay. I don't think it's going anywhere, but, I actually gave one.
Host the show with me if you're on the actual show. You got to get your priorities straight, Jeff. What do you really want in life? Do you want to be on Survivor?
Let me write to him right now. You tell him
Yeah,
to
sorry,
send me
I'm
back
not
my
able to
demo.
make it this next season. My commitments are mine now.
Is there any plans that you're ever going to do another audition tape?
I don't know. I've gotten fat and old, dude. I can't.
So, I mean, but you've got that personality thing, because they always look for certain types of people to go out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I've got
I've
got the nice guy persona going, the firefighter, the nurse,
Right.
I got that guy going for me. Whereas
Shit going for me.
you've got the like, I don't know, just the boisterous personality guy, like that's always out there that not over speaks everybody, but you're just always speaking and always cracking jokes and things like that. You're that guy.
That guy.
That guy.
I'd
You
love
would put
to
that in
go.
your video, just be like,
If
I'm that guy.
I wonder how long you know in advance, because I would want to spend like 6 months, like basically training to go. Like, would you change anything about your lifestyle if you found out you were
Hell
on?
yes, I would, because I am
Yeah.
not in the shape right now that I would need to be on
Right,
Survivor.
right.
I think if I were to get even called to the next audition set randomly, needle in a haystack wise, I think they'd look at me and be like, "This dude is not like he's just your average guy. He's not a pretty boy, and he's not a really fat guy that we could like make fun of on the show. He's nothing. Like you really don't ever have just average people on the show."
Right. Yeah.
Which is exactly where I fall into the category.
Well, they've done YouTubers on Amazing Race twice now.
Really?
Yeah. So that's never been done on Survivor, though. There's never been YouTubers on there. And the YouTubers they had on Amazing Race had less subs than we do, or well, that I do at least.
Interesting.
So I was like, I remember me because Beef watches that too, and we were both like, What the fuck? We're qualified to be on Amazing Race,
Now,
apparently.
a question: did you happen to look at their sub count afterwards? I'd be
Yeah,
curious
they
what.
didn't see there was no big
Nothing,
huge boost. No,
nothing at
it was
all.
nothing like, oh, they're on TV. I'm gonna go sub now.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I wondered because the whole different depending on what your YouTube show is based on, I guess. But I
Yeah,
mean, I
well, they're
was
basically like vlogger type people, so it was actually better. It was more in line with like
yeah, that's
reality.
interesting because I can
Yeah,
understand like gaming network shows not seeing an increase because
right.
it's completely different. But a blog show about random
Yeah,
blogs, I would think
right.
that would get like this huge bump.
I wanted to go unsubscribe from them, and I wasn't even subscribed, so they didn't appeal to me at all. Like
Oh,
I don't know, like I did not like their personality, so they definitely didn't drive me to their. Well, they did drive me to the YouTube channel just to see what their YouTube channel was, but then I left.
oh.
So
So speaking of Amazing Race, just out of curiosity, did you watch this week's episode, or were you not able to?
I watched it last night, but kind of barely. Like I was like writing up a document at the same time, so I don't have any idea what the hell was happening on the screen while I was doing it.
So, just out of curiosity, because this is the first season I've ever watched, I did catch up in this last episode. I don't quite still understand the concept. What is a U-turn? What is
U-turn. Okay. When they get to the God, it's not the speed bump. 'Cause speed bumps whenever you what are the challenges called? There's
there's a roadblock,
roadblock
a
and
speed bump, a U-turn.
see the
Uh,
U-turn. Basically, there's one point in the game where like the first challenge they have in every episode is one member has to do it. Like one member has to do the
okay.
first challenge. The second challenge, they both do it, but it's they get to choose one or the other. Like they'll read their thing and they'll be like, this one you either ride a donkey or you milk a cow, and they get to pick one.
I'll
So
definitely
if
ride
there's
a donkey.
so in the event of a U-turn, let's say you pick to ride a donkey, I U-turn you, you now have to now you've completed your donkey ride, you have to go also milk the cow.
So, in the last episode that just aired, they came up to the teams. If you get to the U-turn board first, you choose who you U-turn.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Hmm.
and everybody, the first couple couples were like, "We choose to U-turn nobody," and they like ran off. And I was like, "Wait, what? You?
Right. No one knows how to play this game. They're a bunch of idiots. Like this happens every season. They're just like, everyone's my friend. No.
I mean,
Like
why
like
wouldn't you?
they're because they're worried like next time there's a U-turn they'll be behind those people so they don't want to piss them off so they don't want to get U-turn later so we're just gonna we're already
Okay,
ahead we're not gonna rock the boat we're just gonna keep going. I
because
think that you should always U-turn whoever you think is right behind you because they're a threat and you can get them out. Whoever's
I would completely agree with that. Or U-turn the freaking people with the save that still have a save, so that they no longer have a save.
right, right,
That's the only thing that was going through my mind
right.
is I was like, I don't understand the show enough to know if I'm really like on the wrong concept of what's going
No.
on here. But you turn those goddamn people with a save, so they no longer have that threat.
The only season I've seen where it seemed like there was like alliances, because that's probably like that's what this show misses. There is no alliances that really happen. Even when they do, they're so loose and like nothing really comes from it. But the season with Rob, Boston Rob, it was basically like Survivor almost. There was all these alliances going on. They convinced there was a challenge that Rob and Amber couldn't do. They just couldn't do it. And if you ever can't do a challenge, you can quit. And it's a 4 hour penalty. You have to sit there 4 hours before you can move, or before you can move on, not before you can move. But so they've been trying to challenge for a while, and other people like they were actually getting better at it. But Rob and Amber convinced everyone to quit and all sit out a 4 hour penalty.
So I didn't realize that that was them because they talked about that. They did that this time as well, but it was basically because three different teams, I think season two, but it was because three different teams, or excuse me, episode two, but the three different teams, they couldn't do the challenge at all. And they finally
Yeah.
were like, they went up to each other and they're like, look, guys, we suck. If you guys want to quit, let's all like get in on this, which I thought was a legitimate strategy for them because then it just became like race
Right.
against
It's a
three
watch.
people.
Yeah.
I didn't know that because they referenced that happened once before when
Yeah.
people did
But
it. I
that
just didn't realize
time,
it was
I'm pretty
Boston
sure
Rob.
Robin then basically just played those people because I'm pretty sure they could have done it, but Robin and Amber were screwed. Um,
Oh, that's
but they
interesting.
convinced everyone else to just get in the same boat with them. And the thing was, they did it in a way too, where like, oh, I remember what it was. They convinced everyone that was there to quit, and then every time a new group would come in, they would convince them to quit before they even tried. So they'd be like, "Hey, you just got here. This shit's impossible. Quit now, and 4 hours will start right now." And so they got everyone to do that. even without even like trying it, basically.
I mean,
So like they were like 30 minutes ahead because
how did you get socially manipulated like that? Because if you literally came in because you were behind and you
yeah,
were like, all these people are sitting here because they can't do this challenge, I now have the opportunity to just like
right,
rock through this. And if I still can't, they obviously have given up on it because they're not
right,
even trying
right.
it anymore.
So I can't remember if if the people would try once or something. I can't remember what the challenge was. I remember them being like out in a jungle or something.
Throw this nut and have it go across the screen and actually wind itself onto a screw. Let me give that a shot one time.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it was a good season.
Yeah, so
But yeah, but normally I don't know. Amazing Race is a weird show. Like I thought it was going to be canceled a couple times, but
I didn't know that it started out with one person. Well, I guess this week didn't start out with one person doing something. One person did like, but there was a group event, there was a single person event, and then there was the group event for the one or the other one as well. So I got okay. That makes a little bit more sense than some of the stuff I saw because I didn't understand why when they stopped before they opened an envelope they were like, "I'm gonna do it," and I was like, "Why would you choose now before you know what it is?" But they must have to. I mean, that must be part of the rules, I guess.
I think there's also like at the end, you can't have one person that's done like six and the other one only done two or something like that. It has to be like a close to even number as far as the number of challenges that's been done. So like basically like if you and I were on there, I couldn't let you do everything and me just watch for all of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to do that.
uh, but yeah, so like they have to kind of keep it even too to some degree. Um, I don't remember why exactly. There's a bunch of little things in that show that they don't even tell you about if you haven't been watching it all this time that like you just wouldn't know. Like they can never be more than 5 feet away from each, or not 5 feet, but like there's so many feet they can't be away from each other. Like you can't have one team member run off and do something, the other one stay here.
Oh, so
They
you
have to
can't
always
actually.
be within a certain distance of each
Yeah,
other.
you can't
at all times.
multitask.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of little things that they don't even talk about really that are like little rules.
Yeah, I'm still finding the whole thing interesting with that you get to start now, you have to start an hour later based on the wins from the week before.
Yeah.
And they all seem to keep ending up at the travel agency and on the same flight anyway. That's not for
Yeah.
12 hours. And I'm like, that this doesn't make any sense. What's the point of your advantage on the win? Like,
Right, right. A lot of times there is no point at all. Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think it could be done differently. It's entertaining though. Not
It used to
as
be better. I think you should go back and watch some of the older seasons
that's
where
the plan
they
is to
really
do
got
so.
separated because those were actually pretty good. I think the show's lost a little bit of its appeal over really since 9/11, honestly. So
Yeah, because I guess you said that's when they had to change the way that they did all the
yeah,
flights and this and
all the
that.
flights and stuff.
No
Yeah.
longer could you ride like a nuclear warhead to your destination. Like, you actually had to get on legit planes, go through security checkpoints. Can you imagine?
They never show any of that stuff either. Like they're
Can
all
you
these international
imagine they
flights.
get stopped at security, or they show up to one of the airports and the line is so long, like a typical airport is, that they end up missing their flight, like just because
Right.
they're waiting in security line, not because of anything.
Yeah, they never
else.
show. I guess they can't have cameras in that part. I guess. You know, like during
Right.
security and stuff. So we have no idea how that normally. I don't know how there's like I don't know. You'd almost feel like they have to be like pre-screened. You know what I mean? Like TSA pre-screened.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but also customs. You're going country to country. Going
Right.
through customs lines. Do you have? Do
They have to every single time. You know.
I
They
didn't.
have
I
to.
didn't think about that. So even though they're taking these planes, it's like we're on the plane that's 3 hours ahead of these people. They could be sitting in the freaking customs line for 3 hours, and then the next guy's like, "Oh, it was a slow time. Now they're right behind me because nobody got in line for the
Yeah.
last three
Right.
hours."
Right. Yeah.
That would be
Well, there's
interesting.
there's that Nexus pre or something like that. That's like something to do with like customs too, where you can there's like a faster. I'm sure they're in whatever the faster lines is for all of this stuff.
They're all stopping at duty free and stocking up on
Yeah.
cigarettes and alcohol. Like, sorry, we got something to declare here. So, no, sir, you can only have 2 bottles of liquor you bring into this country. Like, that would be more entertaining to see. Or somebody gets detained. Like they're like, no,
Yeah.
you look
Yeah.
like you're a threat,
Not
so
gonna
we're gonna
make it.
detain you. Dude, you can pay off customs agents to win the game. I mean, I'm sure there's no penalty legally about paying off customs agents, in many countries.
Well, there's before like whenever because it always ends in the United States, and so they get back and their cab driver. Well, sometimes their cab drivers speaks English when they get back to the United States, and It's a race for $1 million. Get me there. And the guy's like, all right, wow. Uh, it's actually really hilarious whenever, because there's always these cab troubles throughout the whole show, and then all these other countries, and they're always complaining about, they don't speak English. It's like, well, you're fucking Peru or whatever. And then they get back to the United States, and they get in the cab, and fuck, gotta speak English. It's always amused the hell out of me, because they're always like, all right, we're back in America. They're gonna know, and they're gonna know English. It's gonna be a great cab ride. And they get in, the guy's like, what? Or I love it whenever the cab driver stops for gas. That happens so often. Where
Are you serious?
just a little bit of gas. He's like, gotta get gas. They're like, no.
They watch the other team like just.
Oh yeah. It happens all the time. You literally watch the team pass by.
It's gonna be really funny now with Uber when they're running out and like calling Ubers across the street from the airport and like just like running.
But they don't
out.
have phones, so they can't.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
That would be way better actually. Yeah, cabs. Yeah.
Well, Amazing Race. The little bit that we talked about it because I didn't know
Right.
anything about the show. Other than that, anything else talk about? Utopia, Survivor. I think we kind of covered all the bases.
Yeah.
Curious
Nice.
what's going to happen. And what do you think that Jeff's going to ask for?
I was wondering if he would do something like they vote one member to go to exile or something like that. But not just for like a day. I don't know. Something like that is what I was thinking. But otherwise, what else could they do? Like, what kind of?
I think he's going to tear down their shelter. I mean, they don't have anything else. I think he's going to tear down their shelter and make them rebuild it.
That'd be lame. That'd be an asshole thing to do. They'd be like coming in and just like, oh, you're hungry? Fuck your house.
That's
Like,
what they did.
That's fucked up.
That's what they did on the one with the big Texas flag that they used as a tent.
Yeah.
When he came in, because they were like their camp got decimated by like the weather or whatever. He was like, yeah, I'll give you more food because you guys need it, but boom, I'm taking everything. You guys start over. I mean, because I can't imagine what else they could do.
Yeah. Or maybe even take one of their tribes or one of their members and send it to the other tribe. Even like we'll give you food, but you got to lose one member and they go to the other tribe. I don't know, something. I would much rather see something like that that's never been seen before, other than fuck your house.
That would be interesting, but because they are down or up a member now.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. They're gonna split.
I mean, like you decide as a tribe, do you want to? And the thing is, if they did that, the thing that would make sense is Wes should go.
To make it all couples on one side. Well, it's not no longer all couples.
I know. And then that would basically screw Dale for sure.
I think Dale's screwed already.
Well, yeah, Dale's screwed already.
Dale needs to get in an alliance with Keith. That's his like only bet right now. I think.
Oh yeah. But even then, Keith would need to give him his immunity idol to Dale. To save, because Dale was just gone next time. They want him gone. He's the guy. I'm surprised he'd go this time because again, he's the guy that's like, don't eat all my food. Should just vote him out and had a buffet.
Yeah.
Rice buffet.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they went with Kelly. That didn't make sense to me. But
Yep.
But anyways, this week in Survivor, and I need to get this video uploaded because Survivor actually airs really soon.
Really soon. Yep. Bye everybody.
See ya.